In one shattering moment, my world collapsed. A devastating secret from the wife I trusted, a child with an unknown father, and accusations that have haunted me for 15 years like a razor-sharp blade. Amid a storm of family betrayal, from a spoiled sister's deceit to a battle for justice, one question burns. Where does the truth lie? Brace yourself. This story will grip you and never let go. Welcome to Addy Story, where we share real-life stories that touch the heart and inspire the soul. Subscribe now to join our community, relax, and dive into the stories we have for you. Enjoy. In the beginning, a tale unfolds. After 2 long months away, I stepped back into a world turned upside down. My wife, once a partner I trusted, revealed a shocking truth. She was 5 weeks pregnant, a revelation that shattered the very foundation of our lives. Betrayal hung heavy in the air, and in that moment of raw emotion, I made the only choice I could: divorce. The echoes of her deception would haunt me forever. 15 long, agonizing years have passed. She continues to torment me, accusing me of leaving her pregnant and forsaking our child. Yet, she stands her ground, vehemently rejecting the notion of a paternity test, her voice laced with indignation, as if the very suggestion is a dagger aimed at her honor. Now, she has unleashed her daughter as a weapon to torment my son. It slipped through my fingers, vanishing into the shadows of despair. Prepare yourself for the unexpected. 15 years ago, at the age of 26, I stood on the precipice of change, my contract nearing its end, the air thick with uncertainty and anticipation. And my then-girlfriend of 3 years, Charlotte, began to unravel before my eyes, her behavior growing more erratic and unsettling with each passing day. After 2 long, grueling months away, I returned, my heart heavy with the weight of a decision that loomed like a storm on the horizon. The moment had arrived. I was ready to shatter the fragile illusion of my relationship with Charlotte. As she stepped into the room, a charged silence enveloped us. Her eyes sparkled with a secret, a revelation that hung heavy in the air. And then, with a breathless whisper, she unveiled the truth that would change everything. She was pregnant. I inquired about the progress of her journey. In a moment of tension, she declared 5 weeks, and with a heavy heart, I severed our ties, delivering the stinging truth that she needed to sharpen her skills in mathematics. With a fierce determination that sent shivers down my spine, she clung to the remnants of our shattered relationship, her eyes blazing with conviction as she declared that the child was undeniably mine. In that tense moment, I leaned in closer and revealed the truth that had been haunting me. I told her the following: one fateful paternity test loomed ahead, and 2 haunting questions echoed in my mind. Was the child truly mine? The time has come to confront the looming shadows of financial support and custody arrangements as we prepare to engage with the lawyers who hold the keys to our fate. She turned her back on both options, casting a shadow over our lives, declaring to all that I was nothing more than a deadbeat, a coward who had abandoned her after igniting the flames of our shared fate. In the shadows of my carefully crafted lie, I whispered to the world that I was bound for a 2-month assignment, all while she carried the weight of our secret within her. The truth loomed like a storm on the horizon, threatening to unravel everything. Yet, a handful of voices rose in fervent insistence, urging that, for the sake of decency, I must shelter her and extend a fragile thread of support as shadows loomed ominously around us. In the dim light of uncertainty, I sought the counsel of a lawyer, a figure cloaked in authority. With a grave tone, they unveiled a chilling truth. Any gesture of support I might extend could be twisted into a binding chain of responsibility, ensnaring me in a web of consequences I could scarcely fathom. In a tense moment, I revealed my thoughts to my friends, and while most turned away, one remained steadfast, his voice cutting through the silence. He insisted, with unwavering conviction, that charity should never be wielded as a weapon in the legal arena. The air crackled with unspoken tension as the weight of his words hung heavily between us. I confronted him with a question that hung heavy in the air. Did he truly believe he could shelter her? The weight of uncertainty loomed between us, thick and palpable. With a heavy heart and a lingering gaze, he finally conceded, letting the matter slip away into the shadows of the past. The child emerged into the world, a fragile being with a visage that bore no resemblance to mine, for all newborns arrive with faces contorted from the journey. Yet, in that moment, a tempest of emotions surged within me, hinting at the mysteries that lay ahead. All that filled my vision were the haunting images she sent, accompanied by chilling messages that echoed in my mind. Olivia wants to know where Daddy is, and so much more. The weight of those words hung heavy in the air, a sinister reminder of the truth lurking just beyond my grasp. She stood her ground, unwavering, as the shadows of doubt loomed larger. The truth hung in the air, thick and suffocating, yet she would not yield to the pressure of paternity tests. The stakes were high, and the silence was deafening. Yet, her relentless appearances with that baby escalated to a breaking point, compelling me to take the drastic step of filing a restraining order. Did you know? A revelation awaits. In my state of Oregon, the illusion of a permanent restraining order shatters, revealing a precarious truth. It is not, in fact, permanent. It stretches on for an agonizing 2 years, a relentless passage of time that seems to taunt and torment. The sole path to extending its reach lies in the shadows of a violent crime entwined with its fate. And it seems that tormenting someone with a child that doesn't belong to them is somehow not classified as a violent crime. For the past 14 years, I have been trapped in a relentless cycle, renewing the RO every 2 years. Each time it clears, the shadows shift, and there she is, Charlotte, emerging once more with my not-child, a haunting reminder of what I cannot escape. In the end, amidst the chaos and uncertainty, I stumbled upon a remarkable girl who would change everything. We exchanged vows, sealing our fates in a moment that felt both exhilarating and terrifying. And now, a 10-year-old boy stands before me, a living testament to the passage of time and the weight of unspoken stories yet to unfold. James. The name echoed in the shadows, a whisper that sent chills down the spine. What secrets lay hidden beneath its surface? The air thickened with anticipation, each heartbeat a reminder that something was about to unfold, something that would change everything. My wife, Sophie, knows all too well about Charlotte and Olivia, their presence looming like shadows in the corners of our lives. As the cycle looms on the horizon, I find myself uttering the same haunting words, a chilling refrain echoing in the shadows of my mind. One fateful paternity test, the kind that could unravel lives and shatter illusions. Once the truth of paternity is unveiled, I will seize custody and ensure that financial support is established, setting the stage for a battle that will change everything. Charlotte stands her ground, her voice unwavering, declaring that both options are nothing short of an affront to her very being. Once more, the ominous cycle began to unfold, shrouded in uncertainty and foreboding. And this time, it was Olivia who arrived first, her presence hanging in the air like a storm waiting to break. As the sun dipped low in the sky, casting eerie shadows across the Portland Zoo, she emerged from the crowd, her eyes glinting with an unsettling intensity. "Hi," she said, her voice smooth yet chilling. "I'm your big sister, Olivia." My heart raced, a sense of foreboding washing over me as I realized this was no ordinary encounter. With a heart pounding like a drum, James felt the icy grip of fear as he sensed the lurking presence behind him. Instinct kicked in, and he bolted, his legs propelling him toward the safety of a teacher, the only beacon of hope in a world that suddenly felt so perilous. The air was thick with tension as I faced the teachers and parents gathered at the event. My heart raced, each beat echoing the weight of the truth I was about to unveil. With every word, I felt the gravity of my confession about my relationship with Olivia and Charlotte, a revelation that would shatter the fragile facade I had maintained. The moment hung heavy, for Olivia was never my daughter, and the silence that followed my admission was deafening. In the heat of our exchange, I dared to call her my nodder, a slip of the tongue that hung in the air, charged with unspoken tension, echoing like a whispered secret in the shadows of our dialogue. In the aftermath of the group's dissolution, a mother approached me, her eyes blazing with intensity. She accused me, her voice trembling with a mix of anger and desperation, that although Charlotte had erred, my declaration to this innocent child, that I was her father, and the twisted term "nodder," was a cruel mockery of the chaos that had unfolded. The weight of her words hung heavy in the air, a chilling reminder of the tangled emotions at play. A flicker of understanding ignites within me as I grasp the depths of her turmoil. Desperation grips my heart as I confront the chilling reality. I am powerless to save this child. In the shadow of uncertainty, the raw truth emerges. Navigating the treacherous waters of 2-year cycles is my only refuge, the faint glimmer of peace amidst the chaos that surrounds me. In the shadows of uncertainty, a question lingers, echoing through the corridors of time. In Oregon, the mother stands at the precipice, the sole architect of fate, compelled to initiate the petition that will unveil the truth. Only then can the father's identity be etched into existence, and the test that will unravel the mysteries begin its harrowing descent. In a world shrouded in uncertainty, a father stands at the precipice of despair, knowing that the path to justice is forever barred to him. The weight of his helplessness hangs heavy in the air as he grapples with the chilling reality that he cannot initiate the petition. The silence is deafening, and the shadows of doubt loom large, leaving him to wonder if hope will ever find its way back to him. In that fleeting moment, as the world held its breath, a chance emerged, one that would forever alter the course of destiny, ignited by the very arrival of Olivia into the world. Yet, the window loomed ominously, a mere span of 1 month, fraught with uncertainty and looming consequences. Little did I know, my relentless focus on the RO would come back to haunt me, the lurking shadows of the paternity angle ready to strike when I least expected it. One final plea echoes in the shadows as whispers of advice swirl around. Just ask for custody. But what lies beneath this seemingly simple request? The stakes are higher than anyone can imagine. That will compel a DNA test, unraveling secrets that could change everything. It is a task shrouded in impossibility, a challenge that looms like a dark cloud, whispering that success is but a fleeting dream. The very notion of achieving it sends shivers down the spine, as if the universe itself conspires against any attempt to make it a reality. I've traversed this treacherous path far too many times, entangled in the web of legal counsel, seeking the wisdom of others who wield the law like a double-edged sword. In a world fraught with peril, there exist laws, guardians of innocence, standing resolute to shield the vulnerable children from the shadows that threaten their very existence. And many of them linger for reasons that are far from benign. Let me unveil the truth as my lawyer once did, with a gravity that commands attention and a clarity that pierces through the fog of uncertainty. Picture this: a woman, heart pounding, flees from the clutches of a tormentor, her past haunting her every step. In the chilling aftermath of her daring escape, a shocking revelation grips her heart. She is pregnant. In the shadow of a life-altering moment, she brings forth new life. Yet in a calculated act of defiance, she omits the name of the man who once held her heart. The birth certificate remains a blank canvas, a silent testament to her resolve. With every heartbeat of her newborn, she forges a path away from the chains of the past, determined to escape the clutches of a haunting presence, leaving behind the echoes of a love turned sour. Years later, the truth claws its way to the surface, and he plots to ensnare her once more, wielding their child as a weapon in a dangerous game of manipulation. With a single word, she holds the power to unravel everything. Just one defiant no, and the state must retreat, leaving behind a storm of uncertainty and tension in its wake. Yet lurking in the shadows, a provision awaits. In a twist of fate, if the father was entangled in the web of knowledge surrounding the birth, he held the power to submit his DNA to the state within a mere 31 days, stepping into the shadows of potential fatherhood. Yet, that moment has slipped away into the shadows of the past. Every line, every clause, meticulously crafted with intent, shrouded in shadows of purpose. The law is not merely a set of rules. It is a labyrinth, a web of intrigue that ensnares the unsuspecting. What lies beneath its surface? A chilling truth waiting to be unveiled. In the cold, unyielding gaze of the family court, I am but a mere shadow, a nameless figure lost in the labyrinth of legalities. And in the shadows of my existence, Olivia never laid claim to me. Imagine a world where the state eagerly awaits the arrival of fathers, ready to hand over the keys to their children's futures with a mere DNA test. Now, picture yourself dialing the family court, your heart racing as you prepare to make a bold claim. You seek out a random single mother, the tension thick in the air, and declare your intent to claim her child. What will unfold in this high-stakes game of fate? Exhaustion grips me as I watch the world around me, each person oblivious to the storm raging within. They think it's as simple as filling out a single sheet of paper, that this relentless nightmare would dissolve into thin air. But they don't see the shadows lurking, the weight of despair that clings to my every thought. In this moment of uncertainty, the weight of your decision looms heavy. Reach out to a lawyer for a free consultation, or dare to seek wisdom in the shadows of legal advice forums. The answers you seek may lie just a call away, waiting to unravel the truth that could change everything. It cannot unfold in such a manner. What truly gnaws at me is the unsettling reality that a RO loomed in the background, yet Olivia, with an unsettling confidence, dared to tread closer to the very child she believed was the one. The tension hangs thick in the air, a storm brewing just beneath the surface. Madness. At a certain juncture, the weight of it all becomes unbearable, and the little girl will find herself in desperate need of profound healing once the dust settles. Why not venture to the courthouse and compel her to face the inevitable? It's time for this to reach its dramatic conclusion. OPS. Reply. Because Charlotte stands firm in her refusal, a silent storm brewing beneath her calm exterior, and she declared, with a chilling resolve, that she was not pursuing any form of court-ordered support. And there it was, the court's indifferent response, a mere shrug that echoed through the tense silence. "Get a protective order," they declared, as if that simple phrase could shield against the storm brewing just beyond the walls of justice. In a world where secrets lurk in the shadows, the truth beckons with an undeniable urgency. A court-ordered DNA test could unravel the very fabric of deception, revealing identities hidden beneath layers of intrigue. Will you dare to confront the revelations that await? Her accusations hang in the air like a dark cloud, threatening to unleash a storm of chaos and destruction. The courtroom loomed ahead, a battleground where secrets would be unveiled and truths laid bare. You could confront her there, the stakes high, as the quest for paternity hung in the balance, waiting to shatter the silence that enveloped your lives. OP's reply. The echoes of Charlotte's accusations have faded into the shadows, her voice no longer piercing through the silence as she relinquished her pursuit of the deadbeat lurking in the depths of the digital realm. She arrives unannounced, her presence heavy with unspoken tension, and poses the question that hangs in the air like a storm cloud. Do I want to meet our daughter? The last time the authorities cornered her about this, she spun a tale, insisting that all she desired was for me to step into the role of a paternal guardian for her child. The fate of the moment hangs in the balance, teetering on the unpredictable arrival of the officers. Will they bring order or chaos? The tension thickens, and the air crackles with uncertainty. At the Willow Creek turnoff, 0 ANTA, a chilling realization grips the heart. One can almost hear the whispers of judgment echoing through the shadows as the weight of callousness hangs heavy in the air. The tension is palpable, and the stakes are higher than ever. Yet, it is your domain, and you possess every right to wield humor as a weapon against the shadows that loom over it. Beware of uttering those words to Olivia. Her unwavering faith in your mother could ignite a tempest of consequences you never saw coming. Such an act would be nothing short of a betrayal, a dagger plunged into the heart of civility. At this very moment, a question looms, igniting a fire of curiosity and anticipation. In the midst of the bustling crowd, how did she manage to uncover James's whereabouts during that fateful field trip? OP's reply, a chilling suspicion hangs in the air. Charlotte, with her cunning charm, has woven a web of deceit. She befriended a mother at the school, extracting secrets like a thief in the night. And then, in a calculated move, she abandoned Olivia at the zoo, leaving her vulnerable and alone, while she slipped away to be with her brother. What dark intentions lie behind this seemingly innocent facade? In the shadows of uncertainty, I find myself adrift, completely unaware of the school that holds Olivia's secrets or the circle of friends that surrounds Charlotte. The mystery deepens, leaving me with more questions than answers. We find ourselves caught in a whirlwind of uncertainty, responding to the unfolding chaos around us. Yet, With the innocent lives of children hanging in the balance, my lawyer grimly declared that this was the best course we could take. Any probing into Charlotte's affairs, beyond the mere logistics of legal documentation, could cast a shadow of mutual connection, kindizing the fragile hope of a future rose. In the shadows of manipulation, Olivia stands, a puppet on strings, pulled taut by her mother's relentless grip. My heart aches for her, ensnared in a web of deceit, her true self buried beneath layers of indoctrination. What will it take for her to break free from this chilling spell? And that is the extent of her knowledge, a chilling silence hanging in the air, as if the very truth itself is lurking just beyond her grasp. In a world shrouded in shadows, she stands as a beacon of innocence, unaware of the lurking dangers that threaten to engulf her. The air is thick with tension, and every heartbeat echoes the uncertainty of her fate. Yet, the fragile fabric of her world and the very essence of her identity teeter on the brink of unraveling, poised to shatter at any moment. It has to be a deception, a web of shadows concealing the truth beneath layers of uncertainty. The clock ticks ominously, each second amplifying the weight of the revelation. The DNA test looms like a specter, a simple yet undeniable key that could unlock the truth, should her words hold any semblance of reality. The stakes have never been higher, and the air crackles with tension as the moment of reckoning approaches. OP. S reply echoed ominously. The offer remains on the table, but only until the clock strikes 18 for Olivia. When the clock strikes midnight on her 18th birthday, the door will swing open to a world of secrets. If Olivia dares to reach out, I will present her with the ultimate test, a DNA test that holds the power to unravel everything. The results will dictate my next move, a decision shrouded in uncertainty and anticipation. Update. Just 2 days have passed since the original post, and the tension in the air is palpable. The call with my attorney had just ended, leaving a heavy silence in its wake. The air crackles with tension as we approach the preliminary hearing on the new RO, a moment that could change everything. This week, the air crackles with tension, each moment heavy with anticipation as the clock ticks down to an inevitable climax. The shadows loom over us as we brace for the inevitable. A temporary RO is on the horizon, and its arrival could change everything. And then, as the tension hung thick in the air, another hearing loomed on the horizon for the permanent RO. The shadows loom as CPS delves into the tangled web of Charlotte and Olivia's living situation, uncovering secrets that could change everything. The teacher's report loomed large, its significance casting a shadow over all who dared to read it. And my lawyer believes that this could very well be the key to finally putting an end to the chaos that has consumed us. In the shadowy halls of family court, where the fates of the vulnerable hang in the balance, there lurks a figure shrouded in authority, a temporary guardian appointed by the court to navigate the turbulent waters of a child's uncertain future. In the shadowy realm of legalities, there exists a figure known as the guardian ad litem. This enigmatic entity serves solely for the purpose of navigating the intricate labyrinth of laws and procedures, wielding the power to influence decisions that could alter the course of lives, including those of a medical nature. The stakes are high, and the implications are profound. Should the family court decide to appoint a guardian for Olivia, we will seize the opportunity to demand a DNA test from this temporary guardian, unraveling the truth that lies beneath the surface. At long last, the chaos teeters on the brink of resolution, a glimmer of hope piercing through the shadows of despair. As I delve into the shadows of the past, I find myself compelled to unravel the intricate web of my relationship with Charlotte from all those years ago. Upon my return from the grueling 2-month assignment, a storm brewed within me, compelling me toward a decision that felt as inevitable as fate itself. I was determined to end it with her. Her revelation hung in the air like a storm cloud, heavy with unspoken consequences. "Oh, wait," she said, the words trembling on her lips. "I'm pregnant." In that moment, the weight of her confession threatened to shatter the fragile facade of our lives, but it would never bind me to a vow I wasn't ready to make. For weeks, a shadow of uncertainty loomed over my thoughts, gnawing at my mind as I questioned the very reality of her condition. As the final chapter of our relationship unfolded, ominous signs began to surface, casting shadows over our once bright connection. She demanded constant check-ins during my work hours, her presence looming over every interaction. Friends became a privilege only granted in her company, and the air thickened with tension as her jealousy erupted at the slightest hint of my friendliness towards other women, even those as innocuous as waitresses. Each moment felt like a ticking clock, the suspense of what would come next hanging heavily in the air. In a profession that ensnared me in its relentless grip, I found myself disappearing for what felt like an eternity. She loathed my absence, yet it was this very distance that shielded me from her grasp, leaving both of us teetering on the edge of an unspoken tension. It was in the depths of that fateful year, somewhere around the midpoint, that a chilling revelation struck me like a bolt of lightning. In her absence, I felt no pang of longing, no whisper of nostalgia. The silence was deafening, and the truth loomed large, casting shadows over everything I thought I knew. At last, I sank into the cot, the weight of exhaustion pulling me down into a deep slumber, a welcome escape from the relentless thoughts of her that had haunted me through the long, grueling hours of toil. As the truth of the pregnancy unfolded before me, a chilling resolve gripped my heart. I stood firm, declaring that a paternity test would be the key to unraveling this tangled web. I would shoulder my responsibilities, support, shared custody, co-parenting, but nothing beyond that. The stakes were high, and the air crackled with tension as the future hung in the balance. She yearned for me to be her husband, a desire that hung in the air like a storm cloud, heavy with unspoken promises and the weight of fate itself. Silence hung in the air, thick and suffocating. Not a single question dared to break the tension, leaving an unsettling void that whispered of unspoken truths and hidden fears. There was no trial, only an unwavering leap into the abyss of blind faith and an unyielding devotion to her and the child, a bond forged in the crucible of uncertainty. The test, she declared with a fierce intensity, was nothing short of an affront to her very being. In the shadows of unspoken truths, it became painfully clear. A relationship was never destined to bloom, and with Charlotte, there was nothing left to salvage, only echoes of what could have been. Under the shadow of my first attorney's chilling counsel, the terms were set. No test, no contact. The air thickened with tension, each word hanging like a noose, binding me to a fate I could scarcely comprehend. Amidst the shadows of the crown and anchor, a chilling tale unfolds. The fate of that poor girl hangs in the balance, shrouded in mystery and despair. In the shadows of her childhood, a haunting choice looms before her: to embrace the truth of OP, or to grapple with the bitter reality of a father who vanished into the abyss of neglect. Or perhaps, in the shadows of uncertainty, a choice looms, waiting to be unveiled. The air thickens with tension, and the weight of the decision hangs heavy, poised on the brink of revelation. In the shadows of her childhood, a haunting truth awaits her discovery. A truth that reveals her mother's desperate attempts to manipulate the system, ensnaring a man who bears no blood ties to the child. The stakes are high, and the deception runs deep, leaving a trail of secrets that could shatter everything she thought she knew. Regardless of the path she chooses, a storm of unresolved turmoil awaits her, destined to unravel in the dim light of a therapist's office one fateful day. It's astonishing, really. How can it be that OP stands powerless, with no legal avenue to demand the truth of a paternity test? The weight of uncertainty looms heavy, and the stakes have never been higher. One might imagine a judge, weary and exasperated, finally reaching his breaking point amidst the relentless tide of restraining orders. In a moment of fierce resolve, he could have summoned the courage to demand a paternity test, a bold move to cut through the chaos and restore order to the beleaguered court system, ridding it of this maddening farce. Dizzy and 5, E257 replies. Furthermore, one must consider the haunting possibility that this mother is grappling with a profound mental health battle, a struggle that casts a shadow over her very existence. For 15 long years, she has woven a web of secrets, each thread more intricate than the last, holding her breath as the shadows close in around her. A figure cloaked in darkness, shrouded in mystery, emerges from the shadows, his presence both foreboding and captivating. With a single victory in her grasp, the tides of fate could shift dramatically. One concession is all it takes to unleash a relentless storm, where his wages would be seized, and the chains of obligation would tighten around him. The stakes have never been higher, and the clock is ticking. That is the very reason she is compelled to act. She believes she will finally seize the long-awaited payout from his military pay and pension, along with the elusive benefits of back child support and insurance. But will the shadows of doubt and the weight of the past allow her to claim what is rightfully hers? In a moment charged with tension, OP responds, "This angle is not just a possibility, it looms with a haunting likelihood. I will confront this matter with my lawyer." Ah, a keen insight into the shadows of the military pension. Your intuition cuts through the fog of uncertainty, revealing truths hidden beneath layers of secrecy. Summer Oracle, it astonishes me that you haven't considered the possibility of pursuing legal action against her for harassment or even defamation. The weight of her words hangs heavy, a shadow lurking in the corners of your life, waiting to strike. It appears she is now endangering your very own child, while the situation spirals into a deeper chaos. One can only pray she doesn't descend into the abyss of perilous strategies. Yet, a shadow looms over your current defenses. You might find it wise to seek out additional safeguards, for the unknown can be perilous. OP's reply. This relentless harassment, marked by the ominous CPS report and the newly issued RO, could very well be the decisive blow we've been waiting for, if fortune favors us. In a moment fraught with tension, a single decision hung in the balance. All that was required was a call to the police, a lifeline thrown into the chaos when she dared to breach the restraining order. The weight of that choice loomed large, echoing with the potential for consequences that could spiral out of control. That would have pinned her flaps to the wall with no room for escape, an undeniable conclusion. Do you dare to seek peace? Beware the trap of a futile RO. The consequences could be dire. Let the police unleash their authority to enforce that SHD, for the shadows grow darker and the stakes rise higher with each passing moment. That deranged individual stands no chance against the relentless force of the police. In a world where rules reign supreme, OP's response echoes with an unwavering certainty. She never dares to breach the sacred confines of the ROS. She relentlessly pursues, a shadow lurking until the inevitable is forced into the light. That is precisely why we unleash them, to grasp the elusive peace that hangs just beyond our reach. Curious management leans in, eyes glinting with intrigue, and poses the question to the OP. And does it truly hold its power for the entire duration of the SO? Not a whisper of connection lingered in the air. In a tense exchange, OP reveals that during the initial 2 transgressions, she faced the consequences of her actions with unwavering resolve. In the shadows of uncertainty, she lingered, biding her time, until the moment the restraining order faded into nothingness. Asleep, Olive, 165, the comment that drew the ire of the masses, stands as the most downvoted in the thread. A chilling sensation washes over me, as I can't help but feel like the original poster, caught in a web of scrutiny and judgment. His past actions loom like a dark cloud, casting shadows over his every move, as the relentless grip of karma tightens around him, a haunting reminder of how he once treated Charlotte. Her behavior teeters on the edge of madness, a wild storm brewing within her very soul. Had he summoned the courage to end things when the first flicker of doubt ignited within him, rather than dragging her through the torment of uncertainty for 6 long months? The shadow of betrayal would never have loomed over them. The nodder, a specter of their fractured trust, would have remained an unimagined ghost, never to haunt their lives. In a moment, laden with tension, the author unveils a truth that hangs heavy in the air, the undeniable acknowledgement that this child, without a shadow of a doubt, belongs to him. Yet he stands resolute, a fortress of silence, demanding that she confess to betrayal. A confession that would cast a shadow over her very existence. Only then, in the dim light of his twisted rationale, would he find solace in abandoning her during the most vulnerable moment of her life, all while seeking to shield himself from the looming specter of financial ruin. In the shadows of my past, my job held me captive, drawing me into a whirlwind of assignments that stretched endlessly. Weeks turned into months, each moment a test of endurance as I navigated the treacherous waters of my profession, often vanishing for as long as 2 months at a time. The fleeting moments I spent at home during those 6 months were scarce, fragmented like shards of glass, each visit a mere whisper of what could have been, never lasting long enough to feel whole. In the shadows of companionship, a chilling revelation creeps in, an unsettling awareness that happiness has slipped through your fingers like sand. The heart races, the mind spirals, and the once vibrant connection now feels like a haunting echo of what it used to be. In the depths of your heart, a chilling realization dawns. The absence of that other soul does not leave a void, but rather a haunting silence that echoes through your very being. Yet, you find yourself navigating through a thick, impenetrable fog, each step shrouded in uncertainty. In the midst of a half-finished conversation, we found ourselves teetering on the edge of uncertainty, grappling with visions of our futures and the haunting echoes of unspoken words that lingered in the shadows. What had been left behind, forgotten in the chaos of time? The air crackled with tension, as if the very fabric of our connection hung in the balance, waiting for the truth to emerge from the depths of our silence. I yearned to convince myself that I was not ensnared in the web of codependency back then. Yet the relentless grip of sleepless nights and the aching absence of human connection twisted the very essence of desire. In the shadows of despair, the yearning for normalcy morphed into a haunting craving for even the flawed, the imperfect, the familiar chaos of life. Familiarity lurks in the shadows, a silent predator waiting to strike. It creeps into the corners of our lives, a deceptive comfort that can suffocate and ensnare. Beware, for what seems known can become the very thing that shatters us. The final journey unfolded like a tempest, each moment heavy with unspoken tension. I braced myself, heart pounding, knowing that upon my return, I would shatter the fragile ties that bound us. The decision loomed like a dark cloud, inevitable and consuming. In the shadows of what once was, the truth loomed heavy. Our paths would never intertwine again in the realm of love. Over the span of 14 long years, one by one, the friends we once shared have vanished from my contact list, leaving behind an eerie silence that echoes through the corridors of memory. Her parents are nowhere to be found, and mine remain shrouded in mystery, hidden from view. Our paths have diverged, leaving us in a desolate void where once vibrant connections thrived. The silence between us grows heavier, echoing the absence of shared circles that once bound us together. What peril lurks in the shadows of her decision to claim me as the father? What secrets might unravel if I dare to take that test? The weight of public stigma looms ominously, casting shadows over the lives it touches, a relentless force that grips the heart and mind with an iron fist. Its whispers echo through the corridors of society, instilling fear and doubt, leaving no soul untouched in its wake. The struggle against this unseen adversary is fraught with tension, a battle for dignity and acceptance that unfolds in the most unexpected of places. Engaging with her friends was a perilous path I dared not tread. She holds the power to reveal whatever secrets she desires, and the weight of her words could change everything. She could revel in the triumph of my surrender, but little does she know, I remain blissfully unaware. And in that moment, as the weight of the truth hung heavy in the air, I would find myself unable to challenge it if I were the father. Indeed, it appears you have unraveled a theory that captivates the imagination, weaving a tapestry of intrigue and fascination. Chapter 2. My sister, the golden child, believed she had a divine right to my possessions, and with my mother's unwavering support, the tension between us escalated into a storm of betrayal and resentment. In a moment of defiance, I stood my ground, refusing to relinquish my precious 9K PC. Little did I know, her wrath would unleash chaos, shattering my world in an instant. As the weight of despair settled heavily upon me, I felt the tears welling up, threatening to spill over, and the impending breakdown loomed like a dark shadow, ready to engulf me. In a twist of fate, I summoned the courage to file a case, dragging her into the unforgiving arena of the courtroom. The tension was palpable, the stakes higher than ever, and in the end, victory was mine. In a moment that shattered their fragile world, both mother and daughter crumbled. The weight of the court's decree, to pay a staggering $13,000 crashing down upon them like a thunderous storm. The air thickened with despair as their hearts raced, each beat echoing the gravity of their predicament. At the tender age of 20, I find myself ensconced within the four walls of my apartment, a space that holds secrets and whispers of untold stories waiting to unfold. The moment is tantalizingly near. The dream of owning my first house hangs in the balance, just within reach. In the shadows of a colossal gaming empire, I navigate the intricate web of pixels and power, driven by my passion as a devoted gamer. It was a time shrouded in the shadows of my youth, a pivotal moment when I was just 18, teetering on the edge of discovery and danger. Trapped in a world where shadows loom large, I find myself ensnared in the confines of my mother's home, overshadowed by her golden child, a figure of perfection that haunts my every waking moment. A sister, cloaked in entitlement, her every whim indulged, yet beneath the surface, a tempest brews, threatening to unravel the very fabric of their world. It was a time shrouded in mystery when my sister, just a mere 13 years old, stood on the precipice of an unforgettable tale. And my mother always held her up as the golden child, casting a shadow over everything I did. In the heart of existence, where all things converge, lies a realm pulsating with untold mysteries and infinite possibilities. It is a place where the very fabric of reality trembles, and the weight of destiny hangs in the air, waiting to be unraveled. Let us refer to my sister as Amelia, a name that carries with it a weight of untold stories and hidden truths. Amelia had an uncanny ability to weave her desires into the very fabric of my mother's heart, leaving me to wonder if I was merely a shadow in their intricate dance of manipulation. Yet, amidst the chaos that surrounds us, my father stands as the solitary beacon of reason, his mind a fortress of stability in a world teetering on the brink of madness. My sister was consumed by an insatiable desire, a relentless hunger for possession. The moment I acquired something new, a shadow would flicker in her eyes, and I knew she would stop at nothing to claim it as her own. She would take from me, her intentions cloaked in shadows, leaving me to wonder what darkness lay behind her eyes. With my father perpetually consumed by the demands of his job, and my mother confined within the walls of our home, I found myself trapped in a suffocating silence, yearning for the presence of the one who was always absent. Each month, a mere $50 was bestowed upon us, a sum I cherished deeply. With a heart full of ambition, I stashed away the majority of it in a hidden safe, guarding my treasure with unwavering resolve. Yet, my sister's insatiable hunger for more from our parents and me loomed like a dark cloud, casting a shadow over our every interaction. In a desperate plea, my mother would relent, her heart wavering as she handed over a mere $20, but only after the tears flowed and the begging reached a fever pitch. The tension hung thick in the air, a silent battle of wills playing out before our eyes. Yet, if I dared to voice my thoughts, the chilling response would be a command to silence, echoing in the shadows of my mind. Thus, that stands as merely one instance of the indulgent favoritism she received as the cherished one, a privilege that cloaked her in a veil of entitlement. And in those moments, whenever Amelia sought something from me, all it took was a single tear, a desperate plea to her very origin, and I was ensnared in her web of need, and I would find myself compelled to surrender to her every desire, no matter the cost. I would always raise my voice in defiance. Yet, My mother loomed over me like a dark cloud, her threats of grounding echoing in the corners of my mind, a chilling reminder that my allowance hung by a thread contingent upon surrendering what was undeniably mine. In moments like these, I would typically confide in Dad, seeking his guidance as the shadows loomed closer. Frustration simmered beneath the surface as my father, weary of my sister's relentless antics and the way our mother turned a blind eye to Amelia's misdeeds, found himself at a crossroads. In a desperate bid to restore balance, he would either slip me some cash, a silent acknowledgement of the chaos, or embark on a tense mission to reclaim what Amelia had stolen from me, returning it with a sense of urgency that spoke volumes about the turmoil within our home. This is the moment when everything spiraled out of control. As I unboxed the lone PS5 I had won from a YouTube giveaway, an electric thrill coursed through the air. The moment I powered it on, a haunting sound echoed through the stillness of my room. Amelia, drawn by the mysterious noise, burst in with urgency, her eyes wide with curiosity and anticipation. What secrets lay within that console, and what would unfold next? Her gaze fell upon the PlayStation, a glimmering beacon of temptation in the shadows, stirring a whirlwind of emotions within her. What secrets lay hidden within its depths? The air thickened with anticipation as she took a step closer, heart racing, drawn into the unknown. She dared to ask for it, and I responded with a resounding, hell no. With every painstaking penny I had saved, I finally made the fateful purchase that would change everything. Even she, the one who knows me best, would stand by my side in this moment of truth. Indeed, I wove a web of deceit, claiming I had purchased it, clinging to the desperate hope that Amelia would abandon it forever. With tears streaming down her face, she rushed to her mother, the weight of her sorrow heavy in the air. With bated breath, I lingered in the shadows, timing my actions with the impending arrival of my father. A storm of uncertainty brewed within me. I sensed the confrontation that loomed ahead, yet the allegiance of my mother remained a tantalizing mystery. Would she stand by my side, or would I face the tempest alone? With bated breath, I lingered in the shadows, poised for the unexpected, just in case the moment of truth would finally reveal itself. Just 30 heart-pounding seconds after Amelia slipped out of the room, I heard the unmistakable sound of my mom's footsteps approaching my door. Each step echoing with an unsettling urgency. Amelia wore a smirk that hinted at secrets untold, a glimmer of mischief dancing in her eyes, as if the very air around her crackled with unspoken tension. Mom's voice cut through the air like a knife, her demand echoing ominously as she insisted I surrender my PlayStation. With a voice that trembled with urgency, I cried out, declaring that this had crossed a line. I had poured my sweat and sacrifice into this, and they dared to snatch it away from me. In that moment, I unleashed the pent-up frustration that had been simmering within me. I could no longer endure the suffocating grip of my mother's absurd favoritism and the glaring spotlight that Amelia basked in as the untouchable golden child. The air crackled with tension, and I knew that my words would shatter the fragile facade of our family dynamic forever. My mother's voice thundered through the house, a chilling warning that sent shivers down my spine. "If you don't hand over your PlayStation 5 to your sister," she declared, her eyes narrowing with fierce intensity, "dinner will be served with my belt." In that very moment, the door creaked open, and there he stood, Dad, a figure of authority, drawn by the echoes of our frantic voices. With each step, he took up the stairs, the tension thickened, and the air crackled with uncertainty. Dad, a master of the digital realm, wields his controller with a fierce determination that captivates all who dare to watch. As his eyes locked onto the PlayStation account screen, a chilling realization washed over him, the pieces of the puzzle aligning in a way that sent a shiver down his spine. His voice trembled with a mix of fury and desperation as he declared that if Mom dared to hand over my PlayStation 5 to Sis, he would seriously contemplate divorce. The air thickened with tension, and the weight of his words hung heavily, revealing his deep-seated frustration with the unrelenting favoritism that had plagued our family. As my sister's relentless whining filled the air, I shot my dad a knowing wink, a silent pact forged in the chaos. In that moment, Amelia and Mom slipped away, leaving us in a charged silence, the tension thick enough to cut with a knife. My dad settled beside me, his gaze piercing through the dim light, and in a voice laced with intrigue, he inquired about the PS5. With a heart pounding in my chest, I whispered the secret to myself. I had won it in a YouTube giveaway. I chose to keep it hidden from Mom and Amelia, the thrill of anticipation coursing through my veins as I waited for the package to arrive. The moment I would reveal it to Dad loomed closer, a ticking clock echoing in the silence of my thoughts. In that fleeting moment, his arms enveloped me, a powerful embrace that spoke volumes of pride and unspoken emotions swirling in the air around us. As the clock ticks down to my 19th birthday, just 5 weeks remain. And yet, the world around me remains eerily unchanged, shrouded in a veil of anticipation and uncertainty. In the shadow of the last few months, a haunting 4 months since the fateful PS5 incident, I found myself trapped in a relentless cycle of mowing lawns and scavenging for trash, all for the council, desperately clawing for a glimmer of extra cash. After nearly a decade of relentless saving, I had finally amassed the treasure needed to claim the gaming PC of my dreams. The anticipation was electric, the stakes higher than ever. In a twist of fate, I found myself standing on the precipice of a monumental decision, having amassed an astonishing $9,000 through the cunning use of more modern components. The thrill of the chase had led me to this moment, where every dollar felt like a victory, but the shadows of uncertainty loomed large over what lay ahead. With every fleeting moment that brings a glimmer of wealth, I find myself compelled to secure it within the cold, unyielding confines of the safe. As my mom whisked Amelia away to a friend's party, a thrilling adventure awaited my dad and me. We set out on a quest to acquire my very first PC, a moment that would change everything. For what felt like an eternity, I had been tethered to a lackluster laptop, its performance a constant reminder of my limitations. Surrounding me were the remnants of a makeshift setup, a monitor that flickered with uncertainty, a keyboard that echoed my frustrations, and a mouse that seemed to mock my every click. The air was thick with anticipation, as if the very devices yearned for a transformation that could change everything. In a moment of decision, I chose the one that called to me, a staggering $7,500. Yet, deep down, I knew it was worth every penny, a choice that would echo in the shadows of my mind forever. As I carried it through the threshold, a shiver coursed down my spine. I slammed the door shut behind me, sealing myself away in the shadows of my room, the weight of what I held pressing heavily on my chest. 2 weeks ago, I made a fateful decision, a lock for my room, a seemingly simple purchase that would soon unravel a web of tension and uncertainty. For an entire hour, I meticulously arranged every component of my PC, each piece a crucial part of a larger, unfolding mystery. The tension in the air was palpable as I prepared for the unknown that awaited me within the depths of the machine. In that fleeting moment, joy surged through me like a tidal wave, overwhelming and intoxicating. But little did I know that shadows lurked just beyond the horizon, ready to shatter my bliss into a million fragments. As the clock ticked ominously, Amelia and her mother finally stepped through the door, the weight of the world hanging in the air around them. As I heard the heavy footsteps approaching, my heart raced. Dad stood ominously at the door, a shadow against the dim light. I quickly powered down my PC, the screen fading to black, and descended the stairs, each step echoing with an unsettling anticipation. My father and I summoned them to the table, the air thick with tension, as we prepared to delve into a conversation that would change everything. My father's voice was grave as he revealed the weight of my recent purchase, a treasure of immense significance. He warned me, with a chilling intensity, that if my sister or mother dared to lay a finger on it, if they stole, shattered, or even so much as mishandled it, there would be no mercy. I would not hesitate to unleash the full force of the law upon them. My sister's jaw hung agape, a look of sheer disbelief etched across her face, as my mother unleashed a torrent of words at my father, demanding to know why she was barred from touching my new PC. For years, my father and I have whispered in the shadows, haunted by the unsettling truth that she has been pilfering my belongings, a thief lurking in plain sight. And this held the weight of thousands of my hard-earned dollars, painstakingly saved over the course of 9 long years, imbued with a deep, irreplaceable sentimental value that echoed through my very soul. It came as no shock to me, a chilling certainty lurking in the shadows of my mind. As I returned home from a long day of mowing lawns, a chilling sight awaited me. My heart raced as I stepped inside, only to be met with the horrifying image of my PC's glass plate, shattered into a million glinting shards. The expensive components lay in disarray, battered and bruised, as if they had been mercilessly struck by a hammer. A sense of dread washed over me, and I couldn't shake the feeling that something sinister had unfolded in my absence. And in a moment that felt like an eternity, tears streamed down my face for the first time in years, each drop a testament to the weight of unspoken emotions finally breaking free. My mother entered my room, her eyes filled with concern, and in that moment of vulnerability, I unleashed a torrent of anger, my voice echoing through the silence like a thunderclap. What on earth do you believe is the issue at hand? You are acutely aware. This is the last, desperate grasp for salvation. The line has been crossed, and the consequences loom ominously ahead. The time has come. I am dragging Amelia into the unforgiving arena of the courtroom. And with a swift motion, the door slammed shut, leaving her standing there, bewildered and alone. I dialed my father's number, tears streaming down my face, the weight of despair heavy in the air. He let out a heavy sigh, his voice barely above a whisper. Did it happen? And in a moment of overwhelming emotion, I found myself whispering a shaky yes, tears streaming down my face like a torrential storm. Dad stepped through the door, shadows trailing behind him. 2 police officers, their presence heavy with unspoken tension. The time has come to bring this to a swift conclusion, for the shadows of length are creeping in, threatening to engulf us all. We stepped into the courtroom, the air thick with tension, as we laid bare our case. Evidence was unveiled, each piece a dagger aimed at the heart of injustice. We spoke of the golden child, Amelia, basking in favoritism, while I stood in the shadows, enduring the relentless sting of neglect and disdain. The stakes were high, and the truth hung in the balance, waiting to be unleashed. In the end, against all odds, victory was mine. In a shocking turn of events, my sister and mother found themselves compelled to fork over a staggering $10,000 for a new PC. But that was just the beginning. The weight of emotional turmoil they inflicted upon me demanded an additional $3,000, a price for the anguish that lingered in the air like a storm waiting to break. In that fleeting moment, a wave of joy surged through me, unlike anything I had ever experienced before. It was as if the world had conspired to grant me a glimpse of pure bliss, a treasure I feared might vanish at any second. At that moment, I was unshackled, liberated from the chains that had bound me for so long. Could it be that I am the villain in this unfolding drama? Do not hesitate to share this beyond the confines of Reddit. Ensure that my presence is woven into the fabric of this narrative as the original poster, a silent architect of the unfolding tale. The third tale unfolds, shrouded in mystery and anticipation. In a moment of boiling frustration, OP made the heart-wrenching decision to cast her sister and her children out of her home. The betrayal cut deep as neglect turned into cruelty, with the children tormenting her beloved dog and leaving chaos in their wake. The air was thick with tension as the door slammed shut, sealing the fate of their fractured relationship. All for the sake of gentle parenting. In the shadows of her solitude, her sister stands on the precipice of a harsh revelation, grappling with the chaos she has unwittingly woven into the fabric of her children's lives. The echoes of lost friendships haunt her, a chilling reminder of the price she has paid for her choices. The weight of her mistakes looms heavy, threatening to consume her as she confronts the unsettling truth of her own shortcomings. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across our home, my younger sister and her family arrived, a whirlwind of energy and laughter. They came bearing the weight of their own stories. Her husband, and their two young children, a spirited 4-year-old girl and an adventurous 6-year-old boy. For an entire week, our lives would intertwine, each moment brimming with the promise of unexpected twists and turns. In the shadows of uncertainty, a tale begins to unfold, shrouded in mystery and intrigue. Our worlds are separated by miles, a chasm that stretches between us, each moment filled with the weight of distance. Once, I cradled tiny lives in my arms, nurturing them with love and care. But now, those precious children have transformed into young adults, venturing out into the world, leaving an echoing silence in their wake. My sister, a mere child in the grand tapestry of life, remains ensnared in the tender, chaotic whirlwind of young family beginnings. Our bond has always been a tapestry woven with threads of closeness and understanding, defying the chasm of years that separates us. My sister embraces the art of gentle parenting, navigating the delicate balance between love and discipline in a world fraught with challenges. It was a revelation that struck me like a thunderclap when she arrived, shattering the silence of my routine. I realized then how far I had drifted from the pulse of the world, my children now grown and gone, leaving me in a fog of unfamiliarity. She revealed to me the profound philosophy of gentle parenting, a realm where traditional discipline fades into the shadows. No timeouts, no grounding, only the raw, unfiltered exchange of emotions. It was a concept that hung in the air, heavy with the weight of its implications, as if the very fabric of parenting was being rewritten before my eyes. A chilling thought crept into my mind, for it seemed as though chaos reigned supreme, devoid of any semblance of discipline. Yet she remained silent, a storm brewing within her, unwilling to disturb the fragile calm that surrounded them. It was a moment that would forever change my perspective, a glimpse into the world of gentle parenting that left me utterly shocked and dismayed. In the haunting silence of those first 2 days, her daughter unleashed a chaotic storm of color upon my walls, each crayon stroke a defiant declaration of mischief that echoed through the empty rooms. In a moment that felt like a cruel twist of fate, her son wrenched the delicate flowers from the earth, their vibrant colors fading into the dirt. With a sudden, reckless motion, he hurled a rock at my car, the sound of impact echoing like a thunderclap in the stillness of the driveway. As if the chaos of the moment wasn't enough, they relentlessly tugged at my golden retriever's fur, their hands striking my beloved dog's face with a cruel disregard. The tension hung thick in the air, each action a dagger to my heart. My dog Daisy, a gentle soul with the wisdom of age, possesses a serene calmness that envelops her like a soft, comforting blanket. Yet, beneath her tranquil exterior lies a depth of love and loyalty that can only be forged through the passage of time. She remained a silent guardian, never once baring her teeth or showing a hint of aggression, ensuring the children felt safe in her presence, untouched by fear or harm. In every moment, a heavy anticipation gripped me as I awaited the inevitable clash of authority, my sister or her husband stepping forth to impose order on the chaos of the children. They never did. The silence hung heavy in the air, a chilling reminder of promises unfulfilled, shadows lurking just beyond the edge of perception. What lay beneath the surface remained a mystery, a haunting echo of what could have been. And so I did, with a heart pounding and the weight of the world on my shoulders. Or at least I made my desperate attempt. The moment I uttered a single word to her children, a storm brewed within my sister. Her eyes blazed with fury, and I could feel the tension crackling in the air, as if the very fabric of our family was on the brink of unraveling. She whispered the words with an intensity that sent shivers down my spine, declaring it was not my place to wield the power of discipline over them. I warned her, someone must take action, for they are tearing apart the very sanctuary I hold dear. Yet I find myself compelled to concede that it is indeed their parents who must unleash their fury upon them. Yet a shadow looms over their intentions, as it appears their parents are resolutely unwilling to comply. I warned her that a severe reckoning awaited them for their transgressions. And then she unleashed a torrent of words, her voice rising with fervor as she condemned their refusal to discipline their children with the same firm hand that had shaped our own childhoods. I warned her, with a heavy heart, that I was not advocating for the harshness of spanking her children. Yet, a confrontation loomed on the horizon, a reckoning that demanded their attention. They would face the consequences of their actions, forced to confront the chaos they had unleashed and restore what had been shattered. The weight of accountability hung heavy in the air, a storm brewing just beneath the surface. She declared, with a voice laced in tension, that the actions of her children were far from deserving the label of discipline. A storm of uncertainty brewed in the air, thick with unspoken truths and hidden motives. In every chilling moment, she simply posed the question, her voice trembling with an urgency that hung in the air like a storm about to break. What tumultuous emotions are swirling within you that drove you to such a drastic action? And that was the moment everything changed. It dawned on me with a chilling clarity that this relentless behavior was far from over. With a heavy heart, my husband and I delivered the ultimatum. They must seek refuge in a hotel or return to the shadows of their own home. What was meant to be a week of shared laughter and memories crumbled into just 2 fleeting days. The weight of gentle parenting pressing down on us like an unyielding storm. The tension hung thick in the air, each moment stretching into eternity as we grappled with the unexpected turmoil that threatened to unravel our carefully laid plans. I warned her, with a heavy heart, that the path of gentle parenting might lead her children into a storm of challenges, a rude awakening lurking just beyond the horizon, ready to strike when they least expect it. Perhaps even the cold, unforgiving grip of a prison cell awaits. In that moment, the tension crackled in the air as she unleashed her fury, her composure shattering like glass when my words pierced through the silence. This so-called gentle parenting nonsense is nothing short of a deception, a perilous trap that threatens to shatter your child's future. In the heat of the moment, I let my frustration spill over, and now I find myself haunted by regret. Now silence hangs heavy between us, a chasm filled with unspoken words and unresolved tension. And our mother insists that I am the villain for casting them out, despite their intentions to linger in our lives far longer than I ever intended. Could it be that I am the villain in this unfolding tale? In a world where every moment counts, the air thickens with anticipation as the latest developments unfold. Stay tuned, for the next chapter is about to reveal itself. The comments unfolded before my eyes, each word a whisper of intrigue, drawing me deeper into a web of opinions and emotions that I could not ignore. It appears that my sister's interpretation of gentle parenting is shrouded in a veil of deception, revealing a stark contrast to the true essence of what gentle parenting should embody. Yet the gentle parenting that so many of you speak of strikes me as an enigmatic choice, shrouded in mystery and fraught with uncertainty. And if it had existed during the tender years of my children's youth, I shudder to think of its impact on their innocent minds. It seems this new generation of parents is charting an entirely different course, one shrouded in uncertainty and intrigue. A shadow looms over the future, casting doubt on the fate of society and the very essence of each individual. What lies ahead is shrouded in uncertainty, and the implications could be profound and unsettling. The world is a ruthless battleground, where softness is but a fleeting illusion. What will become of these gentle-parented children when they are thrust into the harsh realities of life? How will they react when faced with the thunderous roar of anger or the stark realities that gentle parenting has shielded them from? The tension hangs in the air, a looming question that demands an answer. In a realm where harmony reigns supreme, the concept of gentle parenting emerges as a tantalizing whisper, a promise of serenity amidst the chaos. But what if this idyllic vision is merely a mirage, a fleeting dream that teeters on the edge of reality? The shadows of doubt loom large, casting uncertainty over the very foundations of this seemingly flawless existence. Yet the truth remains elusive, slipping through my fingers like sand. It feels like a cruel illusion, one that taunts me with its impossibility. Never again will I extend the invitation to my sister not if her children accompany her. That is, of course, if she ever chooses to utter a word to me again. In the shadow of our tumultuous past, a flicker of hope remains. Despite the scars that mar our bond, I yearn for the day when we can stitch together the frayed edges of our relationship, for she is, and always will be, my sister. She finds herself on the brink, overwhelmed by the chaos of her children's demands, each moment a battle she feels ill-equipped to fight. Breaking news. A shadow looms over my sister's awareness. Either someone has betrayed my trust by sending her my original post, or she has ventured into the depths of Reddit herself and stumbled upon it. The tension hangs thick in the air, and the truth is just out of reach. With a trembling hand, she sent me a link to my post, her words dripping with disbelief as she accused me of exposing our family's deepest secrets for the world to see. She whispered to me, her voice trembling with uncertainty, that she was teetering on the edge of a decision, one that could either bridge the chasm between us or plunge us deeper into the abyss of our differences. But now that I've laid it all bare for the world to see, she has vanished from my life, severing all ties and blocking me without a trace. In the shadows of uncertainty, I find myself compelled to speak directly to her, knowing she lingers on the edge of this very message, her eyes scanning each word with a mix of anticipation and dread. Abigail. The name hung in the air, heavy with unspoken secrets and untold stories, a whisper that could shatter the silence at any moment. In the depths of my heart, a fierce love burns for you, a love that has weathered storms and stood the test of time. Our bond, a treasure I hold dear, pulses with an intensity that cannot be extinguished. Yet, if you sense that you've reached the end of your rope, then perhaps that is where your truth lies. There's a weight in the air, a tension that hangs between us, and I realize with a sinking heart that no matter how fervently I plead, I cannot sway your conviction. The chasm between us widens, and I am left grappling with the haunting truth. Your mind is a fortress, impenetrable and resolute. Behold, here I stand, daring to unravel the tangled web of emotions. In the shadows of your journey, a flicker of pride awaits, a testament to the battles fought and the triumphs earned. Embrace it, for it is a beacon in the darkness, a reminder of your strength and resilience. At this moment, I find myself teetering on the edge of my limits, ready to unravel. At long last, the moment has arrived. In the shadows of uncertainty, a bond forged in the fires of loyalty and love emerges. You are not just a connection. You are family, entwined in a destiny that defies the odds. Yet, let it be clear, I will not stand idly by as your children wreak havoc in my home. The memory of Daisy's hair being yanked and the sting of that slap still lingers, and I refuse to be a silent witness to such chaos. What transpired was nothing short of animal cruelty, a shocking display of disregard that leaves me utterly bewildered. How can you and Thomas stand idly by, permitting such behavior to unfold before your very eyes? Whispers of discontent swirl around me, urging me to take a bold step. Should I confront you with a bill for the chaos your children have unleashed? The tension hangs thick in the air, a storm brewing on the horizon. Yet, I find myself standing at the precipice, resolute in my decision. I will not take that path. With a heavy heart and a resolve forged in the fires of consequence, I will bear the burden of the repairs. But I am acutely aware that this moment is fleeting, a rare flicker of hope in a storm of chaos. Your children will never cross the threshold of my home again unless you undergo a profound transformation in your approach to parenting, a shift that demands real discipline and accountability. The stakes have never been higher, and the clock is ticking. Yet I find myself hesitating to declare that physical discipline is the answer. Yet a shadow looms over the horizon, and the clock ticks ominously. You must summon the strength to impose discipline, for the stakes are high, and the future hangs in the balance, teetering on the edge of ruin. Why have you chosen this path, this enigmatic form of gentle parenting? It has transformed you, reshaping the very essence of who you are. The shadows of your former self linger, and I am left to wonder, what lies beneath this new facade? Once, you moved through life with a grace that captivated those around you. But now, shadows of discontent cloud your every interaction. Offense lingers in the air like a storm waiting to break, and your disagreements echo like thunder, shaking the very foundations of your relationships. What has transformed you into this stranger, ensnared by the weight of your own disillusionment? In the shadows of uncertainty, I find myself grappling with the enigma of what transpired. The echoes of confusion reverberate through my mind, leaving me in a state of bewilderment. I urge you to delve into the comments on the original post, where a storm of opinions awaits. You will find that an overwhelming majority, 99%, would have acted in the same way I did, revealing that my actions were not merely harsh, but a reflection of the intense circumstances we faced. In the shadows of parental responsibility, a chilling truth lurks. Without consequences for misdeeds, the very foundation of guidance crumbles. To turn a blind eye is to betray the trust of your children, a betrayal that echoes with the weight of unkindness. The stakes are high, and the path ahead is fraught with peril if one chooses to ignore the inevitable reckoning that must come. As you delve into the comments, a chilling dichotomy unfolds. Some voices offer sage parenting wisdom, while others unleash a torrent of ruthless criticism, leaving you on the edge of your seat, wondering which path to follow. Yet, such is the unpredictable nature of existence. It's far from gentle. At last, the enigmatic figure known as Abigail, a name shrouded in secrecy, has made contact. The air crackles with anticipation as we prepare to delve into the depths of her story. As she scrolled through the comments, a chill ran down her spine. The words leaped off the screen, accusing her of neglect, casting shadows over her every choice as a mother. Doubt crept in, twisting her heart with each judgmental glance from strangers who knew nothing of her struggles. Her voice trembled as she leaned closer, the weight of her question hanging in the air like a storm cloud ready to burst. Did I dare to answer? The silence stretched, thick with tension, as I weighed my response, knowing that my words could change everything. I leaned in closer, my voice barely above a whisper, and revealed my unsettling thoughts. I believe there are profound changes lurking in the shadows of her parenting style, waiting to be unearthed. She confessed, her voice trembling with a mix of regret and revelation, that she had ventured into the realm of gentle parenting, only to awaken to the haunting truth that she had misstepped, her heart heavy with the weight of her realization. I inquired about her strategy for the uncertain path that lay ahead. With a heavy heart, she expressed her regret for her children's behavior, revealing the painful truth that she and her husband have watched friendships crumble like fragile glass, shattered by the weight of their children's actions. The isolation loomed, as others turned away, unwilling to endure the chaos that had become their reality. She declared that this entire ordeal has been a startling revelation, shaking her to her core. Abigail declared, with a hint of desperation in her voice, that she would embark on a new journey in parenting, casting aside the gentle approach that had failed to yield the results she so desperately sought for her children. She declared with a chilling resolve that punishment and consequences would be unleashed. Yet, the shadow of corporal punishment looms ominously, its absence echoing through the silence, leaving a lingering tension in the air. I declared with fervor, my voice laced with a hint of excitement, "I believe that's truly remarkable." Her heart raced with dread as she contemplated the impending storm. The thought of the kids' reactions loomed like a dark cloud, threatening to unleash chaos and turmoil that could spiral beyond control. I declared with unwavering conviction that they would simply have to adapt to the inevitable reality that lay before them. In the shadows of their once harmonious home, a storm brewed. Her husband, steadfast in his beliefs, stood resolute against the gentle parenting approach she so fervently embraced. This clash of ideals ignited a tension that threatened to unravel the very fabric of their marriage, leaving them adrift in a sea of discord, unable to find common ground. With her husband basking in newfound joy, she stands at the precipice of a dark revelation, where the shadows of consequence and punishment loom ominously over their children. I whispered to her, my voice barely above a breath, that I believed she was on the brink of a choice that could change everything. The weight of my words hung in the air, thick with uncertainty and anticipation. A storm of discontent brews within me, fueled by the chaos her children unleashed upon my home and my sanctuary. The echoes of their mischief linger, a haunting reminder of the boundaries they shattered. Yet the very notion that she is prepared to transform her approach to parenting, to ensure such a calamity never repeats itself, stirs a flicker of relief within me, dimming the flames of my anger. And indeed, I have secured Abigail's permission to unveil this crucial update. In the end, against all odds, we found a way to untangle the web of our conflicts. She is, without a doubt, a beacon of goodness in a world shrouded in shadows. In a fleeting moment, she faltered, her instincts clouded by the weight of the world. The shadows of doubt crept in, and with them, the haunting realization that one misstep could unravel everything she held dear. As I prepare to unveil my final thoughts on this pressing matter, I feel compelled to address the fervent discussions surrounding permissive parenting versus gentle parenting styles that have captivated so many. The air is thick with tension, and the stakes have never been higher. In the shadows of every comment lies a whisper of doubt, a lingering question. What if the child falters? The echoes of gentle parenting resonate, yet beneath the surface, the tension builds. What transgressions lurk in the hearts of the young, waiting to be unveiled? In that tense moment, the parent leans in, their voice barely above a whisper, and poses the question that hangs heavy in the air. How do you feel? In a sudden twist, they are thrust into an unexpected task, a diversion that hangs in the air like a heavy fog. The word no lingers on the tip of their tongue, yet uncertainty grips them. Perhaps they will comply, or perhaps they will defy the command. The tension builds, leaving the outcome shrouded in mystery. They refer to the shift towards an alternate task or activity as the discipline or natural consequence of gentle parenting, a term that carries with it an air of complexity and intrigue shrouded in the shadows of parental choices and the weight of their implications. It is nothing short of a chilling echo of permissive parenting, where the shadows of legitimate punishment and consequence remain conspicuously absent, leaving a void that breeds uncertainty and chaos. It's undeniable that my sister strayed far from the gentle parenting everyone raved about. Instead of guiding with a firm hand, she merely spoke of feelings, neglecting the crucial moments of redirection and the urgent warnings of, "No, don't do that." The tension hung in the air, a silent storm brewing beneath her calm facade. Yet, as I delved into the myriad of comments, a chilling realization gripped me. Permissive parenting and gentle parenting appeared to intertwine, their distinctions blurring into an unsettling haze, as if they were two sides of the same coin, each hiding secrets beneath their seemingly benign surfaces. When children are led to believe that redirection is the only response to their missteps, a storm brews beneath the surface. They will find themselves unprepared, their minds racing in disbelief when the harsh reality of true consequences strikes. The world outside is unforgiving, and the lessons they thought were simple will unravel into a web of confusion and dread, leaving them to grapple with the weight of their actions in a way they never anticipated. When they reach adulthood and succumb to the temptation of stealing a car, the sirens wail in the distance, and the heavy hand of the law descends upon them. They find themselves shackled, dragged into the cold, unforgiving embrace of a jail cell, where the weight of their choices bears down upon them, and the looming threat of a hefty fine hangs like a dark cloud over their future. They will be left reeling, their minds racing with disbelief, as the weight of an unimaginable punishment crashes down upon them. What they anticipated as a mere natural consequence of returning the car to its rightful owner will instead spiral into a shocking revelation that alters the course of their day forever. Thanks for watching this story on Addy Story. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, share, and hit that subscribe button so you never miss a new tale. Stay tuned for more, and until next time, take care and keep living your own amazing stories.